We're at question 8 part C of the January 2022 past paper, CSEC Mathematics. Now, here, it says write down the coordinates of the point where the line y equals 3 minus half x crosses the x-axis and also where it crosses the y-axis. Pause the video and do that for me. Alright, you did that? Now, let's look at it. I wrote the equation here where it crosses the x-axis. Now, before I do that, it says something about the grid on page 22. Now, I wanted to use that same graph before. I had, you remember, I draw the graph in the previous video, but for some reason or another, that program crashed. I had some technical issues, so I would have to look at the graph again and redraw it, right? But anyway, what we have here, the x-axis, the y-axis. Remember, when you have an x and a y-axis, y and x-axis, where it crosses the x-axis, wherever a curve crosses the x-axis, is where y equals 0, and where it crosses the y-axis is where x equals 0. Alright? Because the equation of the x-axis, is y equals 0, and the equation of the y-axis is x equals 0. So where does it cross the x-axis? It crosses at y equals 0. Y equals 3 minus half x. So 3 minus half x. So it crosses it at 3 minus half x equals 0. If you add half x to both sides, you're going to get half x equals 3. If you divide by half, you're going to get, or same as multiplying by 2. Let us multiply by 2. Multiply both sides by 2. 2 by a half is 1. So x equals 326. Alright? So it crosses x equals 0. Now y equals 0. X equals 6. Where does it cross the y-axis? It crosses at x equals 0. So when x is 0, y is going to be 3 minus half times 0. So y equals 3. Crosses it at 3. Alright? Now, the line would look something like this then. Then it says, on the grid on page 22, draw the line. Alright. We had the graph before, but going to have to do some redrawing of the graph. Let's redraw this graph. Let's copy it and paste it over here. Paste. Let's bring it down somewhere here. Alright, we have that. Alright, I opened a screen from the previous video. Let us see what the graph was like. Okay. So we went somewhat up here. I went down like this. Where, alright, 7 and then 2 to the right, 7 and 2. So the graph passed through this point here, continued down. But I had to pause the video, I had to pause the video. I played the video and I had to pause it, because remember, the program had crashed, right? So that I wouldn't be able to use that same graph from the previous video, from the previous work. So I have to revisit the video and pause it where I could see the graph. This is at 3, right? 3. So this point was here, so it went down at 3. Okay. Alright. What had happened below that now? It went down to -3. This was plotted at -3. The plot here is at -3, so let's look at that. Yeah, it was down here. Alright, so that was our part of our graph from before. The other part went down right beside it. Alright, good. Nice. So, there we have it. Alright. Here now, this line, it crosses the y-axis at 3. So it crossed the y-axis at 3. And the x-axis at, where was it again? The x-axis at 6. Which would be where? Right here. And then, so you must draw that line. Alright? So this is the line that we have. Good. And you label the graph and label the line as well. Alright? So, what was the graph again? Graph is what again? 3 plus 5x minus x squared. So we have f of x equals 3 plus 5x minus x squared. And the line here was what again? 3 minus half x. 3 minus half x. It says y equals, so I just use y equals 3 minus half x. Good. Now, after that, using your graph, determine the solution of the equation y equals 3 plus 5x minus x squared and y equals 3 minus half x. You could call this y2, you know. I had put f of x, but you could write y as well. Y equals that. But anyway, I want you to use a graph. Let's say using the graph, determine the solution of this. So, what would you say is the solution? Pause the video and write them down. Alright. The solution. Now, when you have a case like this, it is, let me just copy it and paste it over here, right? You probably know already that this is saying that where these two lines, where the curve and the line intersect, would be the solution, right? Why that happen is because y equals y. So therefore, if y is y, then that means 3 plus 5x minus x squared is the same as 3 minus half x. Where they are the same is where they buck up, where they meet, where they intersect. Right? So right here and right here. So x equal what? x would be 0. So you would have solution x equals 0 and x equal 5 call it 5.6. About that. Call it 5.6 then. Alright? So 0 and 5.6. Was that what you got? Alright, so that is the end of question 8. So I will see you in our next video.